Hello scholars! This week we are going to be talking a little bit about multiplication. Okay, so when we learn about multiplication, it's going to look a lot like repeated addition. So we're going to be adding together the same number over and over again. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of this with some cocoa pebbles. Okay, so when we do multiplication, it's basically talking about if we have groups of objects, how can we quickly add them up together, okay? Or count them all together. So we are going to look at these cocoa pebbles and put them into groups. All right, let me start with a little less. Okay, so when I look at all of these, I see I can put them into 1, 2, 3, 3 groups of 2. So when we talk about this, we're saying that in each group there are 2, but I have 1, 2, 3 groups. So this is 3 groups of 2. Okay? I can also rearrange them, and instead I can make 2 groups of, when I say of, I'm going to count how many are inside of one of the groups. Okay, so 2 groups of 3. All right, so I'm also going to be able to make a multiplication equation out of this, or an addition equation. I could say 3 plus 3, or I could say that I have the number 3 2 times. So that's 3 times 2. Okay, let me show you what it would look like if I was going to take a different number of cocoa pebbles. And actually I'm going to substitute the plate for a whiteboard that I forgot I had. Okay, so let's try this again. So I could also have this many cocoa pebbles. Okay, and I could go, okay, I can make a group of 5 and another group of 5. Okay, so multiplication is about making equal groups so that it'll be quicker to count something up. So when I see these 2 groups of 5, I could write my equation, and that could be 5 plus 5, or I could even say that this is 5. Let's rewrite that addition. 5 plus 5. But I could also say that I'm adding up 5 how many times? 1, 2. 2 times. So that would be my multiplication equation to go with these equal groups. Today, our goal is to create the equal groups that we have here. Oops, I should really circle each group. Here's one group. There's another group. And also to be able to write an equation to go with these equal groups. Okay, so that's just a real example. So you can also do that with anything at home to practice your multiplication. Beans, cocoa pebbles, something that you have a lot of dried beans are probably the best. Crayons, if you have a lot of crayons. But today we'll also be working on that in your worksheet. Okay? You'll see that. Let me adjust for a second. Okay, so we will be starting with this example up here. This says to circle groups of 2 apples. Since it says groups of 2, that means inside of the group, as soon as you see the word of, you're thinking inside of the group, how many apples are there? Okay, so this is going to be 1 group of 2, 2 groups of 2, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2, 5 groups of 2. there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups of 2 apples. You notice how I'm counting each circle that I drew? Because each one of those is a group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, circle groups of 3 balls. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's going to be in a circle. That's one group. Let me capture 3 balls in there. 3. Oh, no, not 3 groups. 2 groups of 3. 3 groups of 3. 4 groups of 3. 5 groups of 3. There are 5 groups of 3 balls. Redraw the 12 oranges into 4 equal groups. Okay, so if I have to make this picture into 4 equal groups, I first want to think about, how can I look at this and see 4 groups? I might use a pencil for this part because I'd have to try to be very, very careful. And you should always be using a pencil at home for your work, in case we make mistakes, right? So I could go like this. Okay, if I put them in groups of 2, how many groups do I end up with? That's one group. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh no, I'm only supposed to have 4 equal groups. No, I don't have a good eraser. There we go. That's terrible. Okay, let me try something different. Well, since I had too many groups, I better stick more oranges into a group. So maybe I'll try 3. That's a group of 3. That's a group of 3. That's a group of 3. And there's another group of 3. Does that make 4 equal groups? Yes, it does. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. So I'm supposed to redraw them over here. That's a group of 3. Another group of 3, and another group of 3. 4 groups of, and when I see of, I'm looking inside of one of the groups. How many do I have? 3 oranges. Redraw these same 12 oranges into 3 equal groups. Okay, I know that if I'm going to have less groups, I better put more oranges into each group. But I'm only having one less group. So I'm trying to imagine if I didn't have this group, all of those would have to go into another group. Okay? So that would mean this has one more orange, this group has one more orange, and that group has one more orange. So that means I need 1, 2, 3. There would be a 4th one. 4 in each. Let's see if that works. Okay? So I have to make sure it's 12 oranges in all because I'm trying to put 12 oranges into 3 equal groups. 1, 2. Oh, I know a better way to do this. So this is called sharing it equally. And then you can see when you stop and you get to the number 12, you should have filled all 3 groups. So 1, 2, 3. I have to count all the way to number 12. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That was a really easy way to split my object into groups. That's called sharing equally. 3 groups of oranges. When I see of, I look inside of one of the groups and see how many I have. 4 oranges. Awesome. You can think of this also as 3 times 4 because multiplication means groups of. Okay? Alright, let's try a couple more examples and then you get to go off and try on your own. Okay, I'm going to look at these pencils in number 1. Write a repeated addition equation to show the number of objects in each group, then find the total. Okay, when I do repeated addition, when things repeat, they happen over and over again. So, for example, I know that this shows 2 pencils, this shows 2, and this shows 2. If I want to count them all up, I have to add the number 2 3 times, which makes 6. 3 groups of 2 made 6. I challenge you over here to write your multiplication sentence if you feel like you can get it. So if it's 3 groups of 2, We also know that that's 3 times 2, and it's going to equal 6 still because that's how many objects there are. That's how many pencils there are. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 3 bears plus 3 more bears plus 3 more bears plus 3 little bears. Okay, so now here's where I have to count, but I don't want to count them one at a time because I can see I can be faster, more efficient. I know 3 plus 3 is 6, okay? And I know 3 plus 3 is still 6 over here, so 6 plus 6 more makes 12. There must be 12 bears. So 4 groups of 3 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. Okay, then coming down here, it says draw one more group of 4. So you're going to draw, these are all socks. Draw one more group of 4. That's the first thing we do. It needs to be group of 4, so 4 inside of there. And then I write my addition equation just like I did up in this one for this problem. I won't show you that. Okay. Now this one's a little bit trickier, so that's why I'm showing you. Draw 2 more equal groups. Well, if these are all equal groups, it wants me to draw 2 more groups that are also equal to these groups. So this is a group, and that's a group. Then write your repeated addition equation to match. I will not do that part because I know that you are capable. You just saw me do a couple of examples. Okay, good luck. You're going to do great today.